Why do men keep handing money to women who have never lived in a man's reality? In part 5 of this deep dive, we looked at how Sarah Dawn Moore sells sex as intimacy as part of her funnel. And in part 6, we dug into the contradiction of a woman dictating masculinity and defining it while embodying the opposite polarity. Now, this is the final part to close out the female masculinity coach deep dive, and we're breaking down the final piece of this entire illusion. How Sarah positions herself as a female insider, the one who claims to let you in on women's secrets, when really it's just, I think, another performance to pull men in deeper into her funnel and to get their commitment. This is the part I think that a lot of guys miss, or maybe they just don't want to admit it. Sarah Dawn Moore's real product isn't masculinity coaching, and it's not even about sex education or helping them to get laid. I think that her real product is the illusion of insider knowledge and the understanding of the psychology of women by way of sharing personal information and anecdotal information. Watch Sarah's videos, and it's pretty obvious in many of them. The eye contact with the camera, warm smiles, even personal confessions about most recently surgeries, health struggles, emotional pain. Specifically in her I'm Back video last week, she did not lead with new research findings or breakthroughs in understanding relationships or masculinity or men's experiences. She led with the perceived vulnerability, and comments just poured in as people validated her extended chronic health problems. Let me tie this back for just a moment into women, or how can women teach men masculinity? Is that a masculine thing? Is that something that a masculine person would do? Get on YouTube and talk for 10 minutes about their health problems over the past 12 or 24 months? Yet that's exactly what she did. And then is going to teach men how to be masculine. And that's what I mean when I said I probably should have mentioned this in the previous video. That's a feminine trait. Getting online and gushing out your health history and your chronic health issues for validation. That is not a masculine thing to do. So my question, I'll refer back to part 6, is how are you going to teach men to be masculine when you don't even do it or understand it yourself? So it's videos like those in which Sarah is not just giving advice. She's letting viewers into her circle. And for men who have not heard kindness from a woman in months, maybe they haven't been on a real date in years, or they've been lacking admiration since as long as they can remember, a lot of that is going to feel priceless. What happens is she becomes the female insider, right? The woman who finally explains how women think, what women want, and the way that men should act, right, in order to attract those women. She plays translator, confidant, and friend, and once you believe all of that, you are hooked. So let's get brutally honest as we start to wrap up this entire full dive. That intimacy in Sarah's content is not just an update to explain what she's been up to. She pairs it with the plugs and mentions of her services. And people come for that parasocial bond, right? They follow because she looked them in the eye through a thumbnail and she smiled. And they stay because she disclosed on camera and they felt protective of her. They felt as if they were reinforcing her health issues, wishing her well. And that's the exact reason that men who sign up for these programs keep clicking and paying, even when nothing in their lives actually changes. Look, this is not new. Again, we'll go back to Sadia Khan, building trust through soft tones and sexual thumbnails, maybe some confessional moments here and there. Again, anecdotal stories. What it really is just pretending to pull back the curtain on what women really think, and then rebranding it as being a rare female who tells the truth. You're not going to get this from anyone else. And then monetize that bond. Different woman, same grift. We've seen it over and over. But here's what we really ultimately need to expose. When Sarah says things like, "We're in this together," or "I'm just being honest with you," she's not talking to men, she's talking to the market. She's strengthening that illusion that you and her have, right? That perceived bond through your screens. She's telling you that she's the one woman who really understands you and that her advice is coming from care rather than profit. But the reality is very simple. She's just a performer. I mean, hell, she's a theater kid. She's selling the feeling of closeness, not the closeness itself. So if you made it this far, all the way through this deep dive, believe me, I really appreciate you sticking with me. Thank you very much. These videos are not easy to make. They're time consuming and inconvenient. But I do it because I love it, and I really have a lot of content that I want to share with men to help them understand how society is taking advantage of them. And I think that men deserve a lot better than being sold illusions like Sarah and all of the other grifters. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next dive.